And we're back with our Prairie Agate that has been running 1 week in our 6090 Coarse silicone carbide grit. It spent 2 weeks prior to that in 4670 super coarse or heavy coarse silicone carbide with no ceramic media. Now this last week when it went into 6090, I did add ceramic media. I added brand new ceramic media, as a matter of fact, and this is how much it rounded in that 1 week. So somebody had a question about that, about when do you put ceramics in, and do you round them before you use them. I only put brand new ceramics in coarse grit. That way it grinds it down for us, and it's not doing any damage to the stones. I would never use a fresh ceramic media that had never been tumbled before in like a pre-polish or polish stage, because that would possibly damage the stones. Anyway, that's another rant for another day. Right now, these lovely prairie agates are going to require more work. They're starting to shape nicely. They're starting to round a little bit, but there's just a little more work that needs to be done on a few of them. I may have to split this batch because some are looking like they're ready to move to medium, because I'm wanting to keep a little bit more of the natural shaping. But on the same token, some of them require more work. I don't know. I may have to revise that statement, because they're feeling really smooth, even though there's a lot of shape to this. I'm not seeing a lot of pits that need to be ground down. And like this is never going to come out because that's a natural valley. That's not a grit catcher. So why not keep it? I like this one. I like the stripes in it. But see, now this surface, you see how it's bumpy? And typically I want that smoothed down. But it's subjective of when it's ready to go to the next stage. This end, oh gosh. Let's get a camera that focuses here. That's a pit. Here, 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 and here. So there's 4 pits there that I'm going to want ground out more before I send this piece forward. I am all over the place today. I am thinking about several different experiments that I want to run, and I'm having trouble focusing on the task at hand today. Yeah. Agates are notorious for long run times in the coarse stage. And it's only been 3 weeks total run time, but 1 week in 6090. I think it's going to need another week, obviously. There's just some shaping issues. And when people talk about shaping, they're talking about the edges smoothing down and being rounder. Some of these general hills and valleys smoothing to a more level surface. They're talking about pits and fracture lines and all that stuff that they want out. I think there's a pit right there. Alright, I think I need my glasses on because when looking through the camera lens, everything looks blurry. So I don't know if it's really blurry or if it's just me blurry. Alright, let me grab my glasses. Oh, look at that, I can see. Miracles of modern technology. It's like a potato. Yeah, there's some fracture line I'd like smoothed a bit. I don't think it's going to hurt anything to run it another week. Oh, there's a nice druzy pocket. A druzy pocket is where there is little crystals inside the stone. Really cool. I'm going to have to make sure when this moves to another stage of grit, like when it goes to medium, I'm going to have to make sure that's really cleaned out, make sure there's no grit left in there to contaminate the next batch. It feels pretty good. Alright, we're spending a lot of time on this stone. We're trying to make the video shorter. I say that every single video, and there's still almost an hour or longer. I'm losing my voice today. That almost looks like organic material, but it's not. It's just the coloration on the rock. I have seen prettier, more colorful agates. Like this one. This whole side needs to be worked on. You know, like the Mexican, nothing is going to look like the Mexican crazy lace. That stuff is just out of the mind-blowing gorgeous. But this stuff has got a lot of really pretty detail to it. May not be really vibrant colors, but there's an awful lot of detail. Wow. When this one grinds a little bit more, every time it grinds in the coarse stage, a little bit of the surface comes off, a little bit of the layer comes off. And this is really starting to come through. I think next week it'll be much more pronounced. Wow. This one has a lot of fracturing from when it was broken up. It's a lot of little potentials, depending on how long this runs, for it to break off and to cause chippage. And if that's going to happen, I'd like it to happen in the coarse stage. Alright, I don't have any really horrendous rocks in this batch that I would pull out for the garden at this juncture. It looks like most, pretty smooth, and it looks like most of it is going to work its way out. Oh, look at this. I am terrified this is going to break, because it is so thin. Nope, it feels pretty strong. There's no fracture line, but I'm afraid that when, you know, another rock is going to come and, you know, knock it off. But again, if it happens in the coarse stage, I'm all right with that. I don't want it to happen in a finer stage. Okay. Okay, so we've inspected our Prairie Agate, and we've got about half a barrel full. We've got our ceramic media that we'll put in here to bring it to 2/3. We're going to add 2 tablespoons this time of the silicone carbide because we're doing an experiment with the grits. And we'll see how much grit's left over, if any, next week. Okay, we're going to move on. And we're back with our Snakeskin Jasper. It has been running for 3 weeks in 6090 silicone carbide. And we've got more time to go, I think. This is kind of really pretty color. I like this brick red. So at first glance I thought that this was a chip, but it's just the formation of the stone. But as we can see, there's some little lines here I'd like to have smoothed out more. The general smoothness is happening nicely. Some of these have some unique shaping, really cool designs on it. This tip here I want smoothed out more. This little fracture I want smoothed out. I know this is going to go for another week. Wow, look at that. It requires some work. This one may never work out the way I want it to. And let me explain why. You see how the surface here has all these striations, all these little lines. Those are all pit lines. All groove lines, and it may never smooth out to take a good polish. It may end up, if this continues on and doesn't smooth out, if we can't grind out those layers, it's going to end up being a garden rock. You know, that just goes out into my outdoor garden or in my potted plants. Because I don't want to be polishing stones that aren't going to take a polish. And this surface might not do it on this particular stone. Whereas on, like, gosh, you know, I'm trying to pick another stone for a good example. Where this surface is smoother, it'll take a better polish. I mean, you can see scratch marks, you know, you can see a little bit of a granulated surface, but that's going to smooth out. It's trial and error. Yeah, it's going to need a lot more work. Nice variation. This, I'm afraid, is going to spend some time in 6090 for a while. Because we kept adding rough to it, because I had more on my shelves. And as, you know, if I took some stones out because they were ready for medium, I put more in, or as the whole barrel ground down, I added more rough to it. So some of these ran for 3 weeks, some of these ran for 2 weeks, some of them ran for 1. But I don't have any more snakeskin, so now we're not going to be adding to this barrel anymore. So it's just going to have to work down on its own. This is that one that had that really cool quartz shelf on it. See this quartz seam, it's starting to wear away a little bit, which is a bit of a bummer. But this stone needs work. I can't just let this go through just to preserve that. This stone might ultimately snap in half if this quartz undercuts enough. This black mark is the stone. It's just whatever's in the stone. It is not organic material. You can see it's just veining. I would like that to go away. I hope that grinds off. And you can see how we're starting to get down to the stone underneath because the quartz is grinding off. Alright, we'll find out what happens. A couple of these are close, but not close enough. Okay. Snakeskin Jasper is going to run for another week. Now I had run this last week with ceramic media and 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit, but I ran 3 tablespoons. There was still a little bit of grit left over, so I'm going to decrease it to 2 tablespoons because I'm running an experiment this week with our coarse grits on our 3-pound barrels to see where it's at. Add this so we can, not to cushion the stones, but to fill the barrel to the 2/3 mark. Alright. Give it a good shake. All gets down into all the nooks and crannies. Alright, close enough to 2/3, just under. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of 6090, and that's recharging this barrel. And also, because the slurry was thin on everything this week, I'm going to reduce the amount of water. Now, typically I fill it to, I put enough water in to come up to just the bottom of the top layer of stone. I'm going to do just a little bit less this time, trying to thicken those slurries. So I read some articles where people are adding borax as a thickener agent to their coarse grits and other grits to thicken it. I'm going to try less water. And if less water doesn't thicken it, then next week we'll do the borax experiment. But this week I want to do the less grit in the barrel because I'm running a 7-day cycle and I don't want to keep dumping grit down the drain outside. Yeah, slurries go on the outside drain. They never, ever, ever go down your house drains. Needless to say. Yeah, so I had grit left over when I used the 3 tablespoons, so I don't want to waste grit. If it's not going to get used up in a 7-day cycle, then I don't want to use 3 tablespoons, and I don't want to run a 10-day cycle. So, all right, more on that later. I'm going to go recharge this barrel, put it on the tumbler, and we'll be back with our next one. And we're back with our Picasso Jasper. It has been running 3 weeks in 6090 coarse silicone carbide grit. This appears to be a softer Jasper for some reason. Even though it's supposed to be a MOHS Hardness 7, it's rounding really fast. And it is slightly thicker slurry, which makes me think there was more rock mud. This is delightful. I pulled out a lot of this last week and the week before, ready for medium. And then I don't have any more on the shelf. So I think I'm done running this in the 6090. I think it's ready for medium. Wow. Nope, that's color, not a pit. Now it does have a little bit of a grainy texture, and as we know, that gets smoothed out as it goes through the finer grades of grit. Now it's got a little bit of a quartz in it. This is really cool Picasso Jasper. Yeah, I think this is going to go through several wash cycles. And then it's going to be ready for medium. Just checking them all. There's little fracture lines on this. It's like I can feel this line right here. I can see it. I can feel it. Let's dry the stone more. There, you can kind of see this stripe. I can feel that with my finger. And it looks like I could crack this stone in half, and I don't want that to happen. It's interesting. It almost feels, I mean, it feels like a line, like a seam. Like it stands up. It's like on top. Can we see it? You can almost see like that little teensy tiny ridge right here. Well, it's going to medium regardless. I mean, you know, maybe 1 or 2 stones could be held back for another run in coarse, but I think I'm still gonna run it in medium because it seems so soft. I think it's because there's something else in here. This feels like it's not just pure Jasper. That's gonna get washed out with a toothbrush. I'm gonna scrub that really well before this goes into the wash cycle because it might be a little bit of a grit catcher. But the rest of the stone feels really good, so I can move forward. There's 2 little divots, one on either side. Right here. Kind of see how that dips in. But it's not a grit catcher, so we're going to let it go. There's one right here too. Kind of see how that, if you're looking up here, Interesting. Okay. It was just the one stone that really needed a good extra scrubbing by hand. 2 stones. I'll do both of these with a toothbrush. I'll just take a toothbrush. Where's my 60/90 brush? No, that's my 120 brush. I need my 60/90 brush. I think it's in the sink in the other room. Okay. I'm going to go clean these off, and then I'm going to put this barrel for wash cycles and move it forward to medium. Yay! Picasso Jasper's moving forward, and it's going to need a bigger barrel because I've got, I mean, this is my little 1.5 pound barrel, but I have all of this that's also ready for a wash cycle. Move to 120. So I'm going to keep the ceramic media separate because this is my 60/90 ceramics. So I'm going to have to dig out my 120 ceramics and put this in a 3 pound barrel for a wash cycle. Clean these by hand. Yeah, we're going to put in aluminum oxide. No, I'm not. I lied. I'm going to put in silicone carbide 120 220. That's our medium grit that we're going to use. And yay! All right, something's moving forward. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with that red tiger's eye. I did go ahead and split it. And we're going to throw it back in the 60/90 barrel. Because it just really felt it needed a little bit more. I'm going to throw this piece in there too. Okay. So we just put the chisel right there in that trouble spot. Gave it a whack with the hammer. And there you go. Split that stone. Put it back in for more work. Okay, we're going to come back with our rose quartz that is in a catch-up. 6090, trying to catch up to the other rose quartz that we've got set aside. Okay, I'll be right back. And we're back with our 6-pound barrel of red tiger's eye. It had a few other pieces. It had a couple pieces of blue, a couple pieces of gold. It had some Botswana agate, a Serape jasper, a couple pieces of bloodstone, and a lot of rose quartz because we had a lot of stuff to fill this barrel. With our red tiger's eye, it has been running, a month? 1, 2, 3, yep, a month in 6090. It's drying quickly on us here. So it is shaped amazing. Very, very pleased with that. And I can't, I'm gonna wet this all down. I'm fairly certain this is gonna move forward to 120. It is just feeling really nice. There is a little bit of a line here, a little wee bit of a fracture, but I don't think I really want to sacrifice the chatoyancy that I'm getting on this stone just to get that little minuscule fracture out. I say that, and then there's this great big one right here. Fine, it can stay back for another week. Damn. Okay. This is why we inspect it. It's not going to hurt it to go another week. Now this looks like a fracture line. You cannot feel it. That is just an optical imperfection, not a physical one. That is not going to tumble out unless we ground down a lot of layers to get to it. Now, the top and bottom in the black that you're seeing in here is all hematite. Ooh, look at that. This could be an issue. If this line went all the way around, I'd try to crack it, but it doesn't. I might try to crack it anyway. This is just gonna erode. It's never going to grind away. And as it erodes, this little chip part will come out and damage the surface on the rest of it. Or it may never leave. It may always stay. I don't know, one or the other. I have to think about that and what I'm going to do with that stone. This is that one that we took to the flat lap to repair before the flat lap died. And this is getting much better. I don't think that's ever going to, this line in here, I don't think that's ever going to polish. I did try to crack this stone and it was pretty, the integrity of the stone was pretty solid, so it wasn't going anywhere. That just needs more time. These little pits here should grind out. The rest of the stone looks really good. A little bit here. Alright, let's put this stone. And I'm just spraying it. There's just regular tap water in that spray bottle. And it's super cool. That one's ready for medium. There's some pitting on the whole top of this stone that can be ground out a little bit more. It feels really, really smooth in the hand. Let's go into medium. But the other stones that we were looking at, those Jaspers and that agate, it all felt a little grainy. This is feeling really smooth. Other than the little blemishes I want to work out. Yeah. These are some pretty thin pieces, you know, some of them. I think that's really interesting because they're packing quite a punch. Now, is this medium worthy? Woo! I love this. Just look at the way that looks. Just blows my mind. This is that stone that we had taken to the flat lap because it had a line of white host rock right here. And it's all gone now, baby. And we saved weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks in a coarse grind just by a couple of minutes on the flat lap. That's ready for medium. Wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't hit the damn tripod. I'm gonna have to find a way to move that eventually. It's just not on my priority list. That is a chip. Came out. Let's see if we can grind that a little bit. See the top of that? Even though this is, you know, a smaller piece, I'm going to send it back to 60-90 because I want that worked out. Usually with Tiger's Eye, I find that it's the tops and the bottoms that take the longest. The sides seem to smooth out pretty quickly. That can go to medium. So that's 4 pieces to medium so far. I think as we mentioned, and every time we video this red Tiger's Eye, it is heat treated. It is not natural. Oh, this whole stone's ready other than this one little pock mark. Pit. It's a pit, not a pock mark. So red Tiger's Eye is yellow Tiger's Eye that has been heat treated. We had some pieces of yellow that we had held back for repairs, and it's now looking great. It can be moved forward. Sometimes you get these erosion marks. See this hematite that's going up and down? Well, sideways now. But you can see how it's eroding and making these little holes. The longer we leave it in coarse, the wider those are going to get. So I just need to clean that really well with a toothbrush, and then I can move this on to medium. Because that's just one of those things that it's never going to go away. You can grind the whole stone away before it'll go away. This one can go. Now this was a piece of red that didn't take. You can see little bits of the red. There's a little Little bits of red in here. But it ground down back to the yellow, so they didn't heat treat this one all that well. Interesting. A tiny bit more work on that stone. Very tiny bit. This is blue tiger's eye, also called hawk's eye. That we had held back because it just needed a little bit more time in course. So let's wet this stone. Woof! Look at that. Okay. And that will take care of the tiger's eye that was in this barrel. Amazing. Okay. That just needs a tiny bit more time for that one corner. The rest of the stone's looking pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of tiger's eye is moving forward. This is all going to go be put aside for a wash cycle and to go to medium. We need to see what else was in that barrel that could possibly move forward with it. The fate of the tiger's eye is on hold because there's not enough to run in the barrel, but I might have enough to put it in a 1.5. I don't know. We got to move some stuff around and see if we'll have tiger's eye in next week's video or if it'll be a couple of weeks from now. Okay, be right back. Okay, I'm back with that red tiger's eye. I did go ahead and split it. And we're going to throw it back in the 6090 barrel. Because it just really felt it needed a little bit more. I'm going to throw this piece in there too. Okay. So we just put the chisel right there in that trouble spot. Gave it a whack with the hammer. And there you go. Split that stone. Put it back in for more work. Okay, we're going to come back with our rose quartz that is in a catch-up 6090, trying to catch up to the other rose quartz that we've got set aside. Okay, I'll be right back. And we're back with our rose quartz that has been running in 6090 coarse silicone carbide for a very long time. We had a very large batch of this rose quartz that we started over a year ago. And we kept splitting it down and splitting it down and splitting it down because, you know, some of it was able to move forward, some of it needed more 6090, we added more rough to the batch, blah, 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 blah. And now this is the tail end of our rose quartz at the moment. I have more on in the stores, on the shelf, but whatever. Rose quartz. I have far too many things going on. This has been running a long time, but this has been in a catch-up barrel. It's been running with the red tiger's eye to help fill that 6-pound barrel. Oh, I've got stuff on my hand. But it is rounded beautifully. I would say this has been probably 8 weeks, maybe a little longer. Oh, hold on. You want to know for sure? Let's look it up. Because we keep sheets. Dun, 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 dun. Rose quartz has been running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. I was right. 8 weeks in 6090. Seems like a really long time, you know, that happens with quartz. So we're getting a lot of the shaping is done. It feels pretty smooth. I'm not seeing pits on this particular stone. There is a little bit of a dent here, but I'm letting it go forward. This one has some fracturing, and right in here and there's a couple spots here in the end. I think it could go another week in 60-90. This one's feeling pretty good. It could go to medium. Don't like that. I think that was a chip last week. And we put it back in 60-90 to have it start smoothing out. And because it's quartz, it's going to take a while. Go back in. Just the purpose of these inspections is just to keep on keeping on. Wonder if that is going to continue to chip off. Why is there always one side that needs work and everything else is perfect? Oh boy, I can just feel that. Nice pink on this. I think I'm being overly picky about what I'm moving forward. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna split this stone. It's a big stone, so, you know, for tumbling rough, it is a large piece. It is heavy, actually, as well. I'm gonna crack that off. And it might split the stone in half, or it might just shear off this corner. We're gonna go crack it and see. I mean, it's fun to have big sizes, you know, but at the same token, it kind of beats up everything else in the barrel that it's with. Nice little piece of rainbow inside there. But again, I don't know. This could do two things. It could continue to erode and just get bigger and become grit catcher, or it could actually smooth out. And we're not going to know unless we run it. So it looks like I was able to pull out 3 pieces after 8 weeks of running. Yeah, that's damage. That needs to be fixed too. Both of these. Looks like we've got 4 pieces that are ready to move to medium. The rest went back into 60-90. I'm gonna go crack these and I'll be right back. Okay, so I cracked this and this came off. I thought it was gonna split the stone like in half, but it's not how the fractures worked. So this is going back in the 60-90 to, you know, fix all that. This is really super sharp. This is the piece that came off. And I'm going to put it back in the barrel, see what happens. When I tapped the end of this, it shattered. There was nothing to save. It just shattered. So these little shards are sharp. So back in the barrel that goes too for shaping. All right, I'm going to get rid of this piece of paper towel because it's got shards on it now. And I don't want that to contaminate anything else. These I'm going to put aside for a run in medium when I can fill a medium barrel. So what that leaves us with for this barrel is not a whole lot. Our 6-pound barrel is barely filling the bottom. So I'm going to have to find something else to run in here. We shall see. I do not have anything on the ketchup wall that's 60/90. I'm just taking a quick look here. Nope. So something new is going to go in this barrel with this. So yeah, we're going to move some stuff around. Alrighty, we will be back. We have our last 6-pound barrel of green Aventurines coming up. This is what I mean when I gotta move things around. I found this when I moved something else. Rose Quartz needs more 60/90, and these are huge pieces. And this will pulverize everything else in that barrel. So this is huge. It will also pulverize. So I might just go crack these real quick to make them a little smaller and then put them in the barrel to run for 60/90. Okay. Yeah. It's amazing what you find when you move stuff. Be right back. And we're back with our mixed barrel of Aventurines. We have a couple other things in there catching up as well, and it has been running on 60/90 coarse silicone carbide grit for 4 full weeks. Some of it was new, just to clean off our shelves, and then other stuff was just stuff that needed to catch up in 60/90 and needed more work. So we're going to take a look at it all and see what's ready to move forward to medium. All right, let's fix the camera here. We had 1 piece of yellow Jasper, which is perfectly ready. It's a druzy pocket, which most of the crystals has come out now, but it's so smooth it's ready to move on to medium. We had 1 piece of rose quartz that was ready, or being held back because of this here on the bottom, and we're going to let this move forward to medium. The rest of the stone is spectacular. Okay. We had 2 pieces of amethyst. And amethyst gets rather beat up. It was beat up to start with. That's now an optical illusion. It's just under the top layer of stone there. This is pitted, and it's just going to be pitted forever, I think. We're going to garden stone this. I'm not even going to jerk with it anymore. Which is a shame, because most of this stone's beautiful. And then you get to this side. I don't even know if a flat lap could help that. I could break off that tip right here. I could take a chisel to that and get rid of that part. But it still leaves us with all of this, and I don't want to deal with it. Let's go into the garden. We'll have a beautiful garden stone. Okay. This one will move forward. We have some blue lace agate. which is really beautiful. This stuff just needed more time. I'm feeling a real rough spot here. That hole, see, it looks like a chip. So that's going to go back in the barrel for more. God bless it, there's just always little bits. All of this is kind of beat up. Just going to require more time. This one can go to medium. This is so frustrating. So you see this right here? I just think it can smooth down a little more. And again, this is one of those pieces where it's either just going to erode into a larger fracture, or it's going to grind out and be good. So I'm going to go put those in 60-90. I think this is finally ready to move forward to medium. Okay. Now we can actually move on. Well, that's definitely ready for medium. To our Aventurines. Okay, we'll be, I'm going to rearrange this and we'll be back in just a second. Okay, Peach Aventurine. This is the batch that's been running for a month, for 4 weeks in 60-90. Feels really smooth. All the sharp edges are off. There's no pits. I'm not real happy about this, but that'll hopefully come out in medium. So there's only 2 pieces left of the peach. Wow, it looks so beat up. I think that all this can be ground out a little bit more. Okay, we got 3 pieces of white Aventurine. It's feeling really pretty good. Alright, let's spray this stuff down. Okay. It's just that one spot, but I think it's enough to go to medium. Oh, okay, now moving on to the green Aventurine. I do believe that's ready to move forward to medium. Wow, we're going to have a lot moving forward this week. Oh, look at that. That is embedded in the stone. You see that? Really cool. Wow, looks like all this green is ready to finally move forward. So 1 piece of peach, all 3 of the white, and all the green is ready to move forward. Oh, I had a piece over here. It's hiding. Oh, there's a little slurry left on that stone. That you can't feel. I wonder if medium will smooth that out. Because you don't feel this one, but you do feel this one up on the top. I'm gonna hold it back. This is all of the red Aventurine that we have left in 6090. So hopefully we can catch up with the other stuff that we've got running. Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks like... that is gonna definitely break off. If I take it any further, I'm gonna have to keep that back. Again, there's a little slurry. I'm gonna keep that one back. Oh, that's got ground in. You see that, those pits? That is grit stuck inside there. And this is why we want to keep the stones wet and what we want to avoid happening. If I move this forward without getting all that grit out, it would contaminate the next run in the higher grade. And that would damage our stones. So that's going back in for another week. That one can move forward. Oh, this is a piece of healer quartz that we must have thrown in for a catch up. It can move forward. And that one can move forward. Okay, we're done with the red. We have our purple Aventurine over here, which has gotten quite small. Or it may have just been small to start with, and I don't remember. Yeah. That cannot move forward. That stays in 6090. I don't know. I'm going to keep this, even though it's small, in 6090 because I just don't trust that spot. Let's see what happens next week. This was a chip off another one that's rounded nicely. It can move forward. Move forward. Yeah, that's gonna stay. Forward. Stay. Forward. Boy, I just don't like this stone. I'm gonna put this to the garden because I don't like the look of it. And I don't want to polish it. And I'm just not going to move forward. Out it goes. Just like that. Okay, that leaves us with our yellow, which I love the yellow Aventurine. It looks like butter or pineapple chunks. I cannot decide which. It depends on the shape, I guess. But this yellow is really pretty. That might be a piece of going on the peach side. Then we have yellow Aventurine. This was extra stuff that was on the shelf that we're just trying to catch up. And it looks like it can. I'm going to try and find out where that other yellow is. If I've got yellow in 120, I'll throw that in with that. But if not, I think it's got a while before it catches up to the other barrel. I don't like this corner. It's just really bruised and beat up. But if you look, you see how you can see through the layer? It's underneath. We would have to shave off that whole corner. In order to make this stone look good. And I am going to put this in with the repairs. There's a little slurry left on that. There. Oh, it feels so nice. It's definitely ready for 120. Wow, it just feels really good. Out of all the colors of the Aventurine, I have no idea which one's my favorite. But I'm kind of leaning on the yellow right now. I think if I left that in 60-90, it might get rid of this. I mean, the shape of it and everything is fine. It was just that one spot I didn't like. God, that is so smooth. But it doesn't catch. A lot going on in this rock. Slurry. Shame on me, I should have rinsed it better. I don't trust that tip. Give it another week and 60-90. This is cool. I think that's really neat. Almost all of this is going forward. Very little is being held back. Let's take a look at that. That looks like a chip came out of it. Get this thing to focus. I'm gonna 60-90 that one more week. It could just be a pit that widened out and the ceramics and everything else wasn't able to get in there to help smooth it, or it's a fresh chip and I can't really tell. 60-90. When in doubt. Yeah, this had a piece break off of it. Where'd that piece go? Here it is. So, this broke off. However, it was on here. Smoothing nicely for a little tiny piece. I'm gonna take this and throw it in the Zen garden because I really don't like to tumble the teeny tinies. This is gonna need to be worked off more. It broke. And this is the stage for that to happen in. It could be smoother. Yes, that's moving forward. Okay, so out of this entire 6-pound barrel, this is all that's left. Just this little tiny amount. That's enough for like a 1.5 pound barrel. So I'm gonna have to set it aside until I've got a little 1.5 pound barrel open. Goodness, it's like we're gonna be running Aventurine forever in multiple stages. Okay, let's move on to what's in 120.